All right, the way that I pasted this stuff here doesn't really do this question justice. So the main strategy we're going to need to follow here is to follow instructions. Now, we usually think about that when we have literal instructions from ideas questions, right? There's a literal question and we're doing what the question wants. There's no instruction here. There's no anything, just the four choices. But the implied instruction for every writing question is to at least read the complete sentence that includes the underlined portion. Let me stress that. The complete sentence that includes the underlined portion, not just the words around the underlined portion, the whole thing. And the reason that's so important here is that this gap, at least for my version of the test, was a page break. They literally just cut this sentence off and you had to flip the page to see the other half. Now, you could just say that's bad editing and they could have done a better job of formatting the test, but I think that they did it on purpose. I think that they split this sentence up knowing that some of you are too lazy to flip back and read the full sentence, and it absolutely matters here. When I see a word like which in my choices, I assume that I'm going to need to think about sentence structure, specifically fragments and run-ons. We saw another question earlier that kind of hit on this idea. And so what I need to think about is like, what's the sentence structure? Where do sentences begin and end? And if I just read the part that's on this page, I might just read, okay, which makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. That sounds kind of normal, sounds like something I could tack onto a sentence, no problem. But we have to read the full sentence. Let's read it with choice A in there. That these skills are transferable across professions, which makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. It sounds weird. Plus, the word which, we almost always get a comma right before it when we're using it to attach an extra clause to a sentence. This first part is not a full sentence. That these skills are transferable across professions. It's a weird introduction, but it's an introduction nonetheless. It's bringing us into the sentence, but it's not delivering the full idea. The word that in particular is causing this problem. And because people don't read the full sentence, they miss that one word, and that one word is everything here. So A is wrong. Now, B is no better. It's basically the same problem. That these skills are transferable across professions, that makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. It's redundant. That is already there. We don't need it again, and that's kind of why the which was wrong as well. The and is also a problem because it's connecting two partial ideas without us ever getting like a full idea. That these skills are transferable across professions and makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. Sounds like I'm leading into the main idea, but never getting there. And so that leaves us with D, which is the answer. So what's happening here is basically the that at the beginning of the sentence is already doing the connection between these two ideas, which is weird. We don't usually throw a connector word at the beginning of a sentence. This is an odd way to write this, but it's grammatically correct. That these skills are transferable across professions makes them especially beneficial to 21st century students. It's strange, but it's correct. And look, I think that it's still a difficult question, but I think it's basically impossible if we don't follow the implied instruction of reading the full sentence. And maybe it's not, as hard as this, but I guarantee that on every single SAT, there will be at least one question where the SAT is hoping that you don't read the full sentence. They're counting on trapping you, or at least trapping the people who only read a few words around where the things are underlined. And there's some little hidden important piece in another part of the sentence that changes the answer completely. So you cannot let them get you on that. And it's very easy to avoid it. It's very simple. Just if there's something underlined, you read the entire sentence, capital letter to period, no exceptions, and then you will not hopefully get caught by this stuff again. It's a hard one, but the lesson is really easy to apply.